Hi, I'm Matthew Barker with Moon Labeling. I'm located in Ogden, Utah, and I've been in the labeling industry I started in the industry about 30 years ago, and it's what I know. And so I'm here to help you to know what you need to know about labels. I've realized that there is a dearth of information about labeling and labels in the social media. So I'm here to try to help with that situation. I'm always answering the same kind of questions and explaining the same kind of things to my customers and prospects all the time. And I searched online and I just can't find much out there that gives information. So I'm doing this just to help people, especially people starting out who don't know a lot about labels and they use labels in their business. So hopefully you find these label videos helpful. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different subjects. I'll do a video on the difference between stickers and labels, which basically comes down to the materials and the inks that are used. There are some online companies that do both, but generally labels, which are meant to go on a product and usually have information like ingredients lists or warnings and all kinds of different information like that, as opposed to being just a slogan or a logo. So I'll be doing a video about that. I'm going to be doing videos about terminology in the label business, especially for people who are starting out. The terminology can be something that you have to kind of learn. And when I work with customers, I try to just use terms that everybody can understand. But if you're working with, any other labeling business out there, knowing what M stands for, it stands for 1,000. So 1M is 1,000 labels. A lot of printing companies won't do anything under 1,000 labels usually, just because it's not cost effective. I am able to supply as low as 250 labels. And if you want premium quality, that's the way to go. Usually for a business starting out, cash is king. You gotta watch your cash flow and stuff. And I have recommendations I can make for those as well. Some of the terminology that you're going to hear is rewind direction. I'll be doing a video about that, explaining that. It just means that the direction that your label is facing as it comes off the roll of labels. That becomes particularly important if you're using an applicator, because if you have the wrong rewind direction, it ends up going on sideways or upside down, and that's just not good. So also die and tooling is another term you'll hear. When I was first getting into the label industry, I thought dye meant like a color dye, to dye something. A dye in manufacturing means the metal tool that is used to cut out the size and shape of the product. Any label company that's been around for any considerable amount of time has hundreds or thousands of different shapes and sizes already in-house. And if they have it already, you won't be charged for it. However, if you need something custom, a custom size or shape or something that they just don't have in-house yet, there will be a one-time die tooling cost that you should expect to pay, and they should include that with the quote. Also MOQ, this is an annoying thing. For many businesses, it's minimum order quantity, and that just means the lowest amount of an item that you can order. Companies do this in order to be cost effective, really. I think sometimes a company will put an MOQ in just to try to drive up orders and make more money. But I think most of the time it's really just an honest way of keeping things cost effective for themselves as well as the customers, as annoying as it can be to try to meet those MOQs. Like I said, with Moon Labeling, my MOQs are 250 on most of my products. So if you have a label company that's telling you they won't do less than 1,000 and you don't want to settle for the lower quality of some of the online companies, hit me up. We'll see what kind of pricing I can get for you. Also, 4-color process, also abbreviated 4CP or CMYK, more and more being called simply full color. This just means that they're using cyan, magenta, yellow, and black in order to create any number of thousands of colors available. If there is a color that you can't get with CMYK, you can use the Pantone book and find a specific color, and you can have that color used in your label printing. Other things that I'm going to be covering, I've got a little list here. Time-saving ideas such as applicators and dispensers, even a little label dispenser that shoots a label out So you grab it and then it spits the next one and it's just waiting for you to grab. That'll cut 40 to 50% off of your labeling time, and you can get them for like $100. They're not expensive, and I highly recommend those kind of things to save you time and money in your business. I'll be talking about file formats in a video. You want a vector file. You don't want a designer who's going to be using Canva. Very few people know how to get a file from Canva into a proper vector format. Adobe Illustrator .ai is still the preferred file format for almost every printer out there. A print-ready PDF, which is also a scalable vector image, can also give you the, what you need. But when you're looking for a designer, you specifically will want to ask if they operate with Adobe Illustrator, because that is the standard in the industry and it is the most reliable way to get a good product. I'll be doing a video about different design considerations, as far as like if you want to kind of blend in with the current fad for your product, or if you want to stand out, what the different advantages are to either of those, as well as different material options. I'll be doing a separate video actually on that as well as a video on foils and embossing to make extra fancy labels that you'll see on like wine bottles and things like that. But I have a customer who has a premium barrel-aged hot sauce that's absolutely incredible, and he throws a really nice foil embossed label on that product, and they cost a lot, but it's worth it for this product that has a bit of a higher price tag on it. Really makes it stand out. There's also other ways that you can get a cool look and feel by just using spot varnishes, so I'll include some information about that as well. We'll talk about thermal printers and the way that they can work to print dates on your labels, or that you can order template labels if you have lots of different items that you sell and they all use essentially the same label. We'll talk about a way that you can save a lot of time and money and be able to change ingredients and things on the fly, and then print 50 of them out right away on the fly. We'll be doing a video about tamper seals and about shrink sleeves. I'm going to be talking about the different things that factor into the cost of labels, from materials to quantities to how many inks are used, etc. I mean, if you can get away with a monochromatic label, and that means one color label, you're going to save so much money as opposed to using even 4-color process. If you had a 1-color label as opposed to 4-color process, it could, the 4-color process could be 3 or 4 times as expensive. You can get some really neat looks with one color. There's white, there's just black on white. There's a nice label that looks, these are clear. This is on clear material, and it's just white on clear, and it allows your product to show, like if you use juice or have some kind of sauce or something, it allows you to see the sauce or the juice, all the color in there, and then the white over the top of it. Or you could use black or a purple color or orange. Any single color is going to save you a lot of money. So I'll be doing a video that talks about different factors of cost as well for you to consider. This channel is meant primarily for people who are just starting out with labels, but there will be some videos that are definitely applicable to people who have been ordering labels for a long time, and even some videos that will be helpful for purchasers and large corporations as well. So if you feel like this channel might be useful for you, I ask you to please like this video and subscribe, as that will make the algorithm show this to more people who might want some of this help. Because like I said, there's just not a lot of info out there that I've been able to find about labels. I hope that you have a lot of success in your business. I hope that you find these videos helpful. I'm sure your product is awesome, but the label is the first impression, and what's on the outside of the package or container matters as well. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you'll enjoy these videos.